Welcome to Exit Frag. I'm Zeph. I'm joined by Esports Andy and that nerd Kaizen. Today we're going to be talking about week 1 of VCT Pacific Stage 1. Guys, what is it about Pacific that just excites people? Like, is it because we are summarizing everything that's happening, or you guys think something's cooking here? Like, we got good matches?
I think there was a couple of good matches there. I think there's a couple good matches, a couple of clear exhibition blowouts that we get to see some of the better teams play.
Right.
But I just think all the teams really are just really fun to watch. They come up with interesting strats, and especially as America's audience, we just don't get to see that as much.
Mm-hmm.
And Pacific's just fun.
Yeah, they are. They just know how to have fun. They know how to have a good time, and the storylines kind of just write themselves too, with like some of these matchups that are happening.
Well, and especially, coming after this Masters, like the audience was incredible. Like Pacific audience was so much fun.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even think Pacific fans expected Pacific to win that one, but here we are. T1 won another event. But let's start with the teams that we don't usually talk about. Let's talk about Detonation Focus Me versus Global Esports. Guys, who do we got here? Because it's looking pretty rough. Rough way to start.
Yeah. It's a coin flip because it's like if both teams are at their best, it should be DFM, but like are we going to see DFM at their best? That's the question. And I like Global Esports, bro. They're just like the comedic relief team, you know. They everything that they do is just like so bonkers, you know. Indian team, no Indian players. It's just like they're in a trap. Like they could just never like win in this like position that they're in. But I personally have DFM. I've been big on them since the off season with their additions and supporting Meiy pretty well. So both teams had like almost like 2 months of prep time. I like what DFM is doing, and I think they're going to carry that momentum that they've been doing because like once you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to look but up after their last like 2 years.
We also have to remember they beat Paper X. Like they're starting to get good. Do I have faith that they're gonna go like super far? No, not really. But I do think that they probably have enough talent here to beat Global Esports, who I don't really think Global Esports has ever been like bad at scouting talent. It's just the way they use talent is just awful. Mm-hmm. Like they have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Because they have so much talent. They have Udatan, they have Crystal, who was on that Zai Lao Ascension team as the IGL, and one of their superstar fraggers. And then he just came out like he had moment, but he just came out flat. Like he just kind of was like a normal IGL in the Pacific, like That being said, and I was looking through our comments from our tier list, and people were getting so mad with these two teams, the fan bases. People were like, hey, how would you put DFM that high or that low, and Global that low, and this or that? And I have a lot of faith. There's possibility for both these teams, but I got to give it to Global because I have faith in Crystal, and the talent is just there. They have more talent, I just think.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Japan is a one-player region right now, and that's so unfortunate to say. If Meiy isn't popping off, then I could see what you're saying, and I do think that Global, maybe has a little more like talent diversity, but man, I think really if you're trying to take both of these teams' averages, I mean, it really is a coin flip. Like these teams have been wildly inconsistent. Yeah. I don't think
Art also got nerfed too with the whole Ascent changes. Art got nerfed with his Odin spray.
But the real pick'ems is will Meiy play Waylay? That's the real pick'ems.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right. Let's move on to something a little more exciting, something a little more obvious. I think we got T1 versus Zeta Division. Is there really any doubt here? I think T1 is just. I think they're just gonna walk all over this team.
They should.
Yeah,
they're the defending champions. They got that aura now.
Yeah, they do, and I think Meteor, Buzz, and Stax with with the win are going to find a little bit more momentum. I don't know how I feel about Sylvan. Are they still going to keep doing that thing where they keep like subbing out players? I hope not. I hope that like even if at the end of the year they just have to go and like, shell out some money for like someone who's really solid to replace him. I think it's going to be worth the investment just to have like for sure like a super team.
Yeah, there's just not much to say.
Yeah.
I would love Zeta Division to do good, but yeah, this is an unfortunate one. Best team in the region, worst team in the region.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to probably the match of the week in Pacific. We got DRX versus Paper Rex. I don't think it's gonna be as close as people think it's going to be. I think DRX is gonna walk all over Paper Rex, and this is coming from me, a Termi hater.
I think this is gonna answer so many questions. If Paper Rex looks terrible, or like just it doesn't stand a chance, yeah, it's like done. like you have to beat DRX to like actually, because this team's supposed to win a trophy. It's like do or die, not just make an international. It's do or die, win a trophy. True. So yeah, if they can't beat DRX, it's like it's done. It's done. The roster's done.
Yeah, I really wonder how much the players are thinking about that 6-man that they brought in, Patman. I wonder if that's gonna bother them anyways, because you don't bring in a player in like that unless you are looking to replace someone. And the question is is that gonna motivate the players to play better, or they're just gonna be too anxious? They'll be like, oh no, I might lose my job if I don't do this. I wonder how much of that's gonna be in the back of their minds and whatnot. I am kind of scared for Paper X. I feel like this is going to be, I think it was the 2021 or the 2022 season where it was their bottom. They're the worst that they ever were. I think it was the 2022 season. I'm not entirely sure, where they just weren't so hot. They did so bad that they had to kick freaking Ben Kai off the team. So I feel like we're seeing the downfall of Paper Rex here. So I have DRX winning this one, low key.
Yeah, I just think it was fine before. A lot of the teams were not as organized as they are now. Paper Rex could get away with a lot more of individual play when it was that open circuit, when teams were just not that organized. But now that the rest of the region is seemingly starting to catch up, it's going to be difficult. I mean, you already see DRX, you see T1, you see Gen.G, those are the top teams in this region, and they're all running pretty disciplined Valorant, and Paper X's style is just starting to fade away. If they don't put up a team that is going to follow the status quo of the meta, I think they're gonna get lost. And I'm totally down for counter picks or crazy stuff that might take other teams by surprise, but it has to be thought out. It can't just be we got 5 shooters and these are the characters they're all comfortable with. We're gonna send it and that's it. There has to be a reason why you're picking agents to counter other agents. I think this game has a lot of that potential of counter picking for certain comps. And if Paper Rex want to get ahead of the meta, I think that's what they have to do. They have to find ways to counter other people's comps.
Yeah, I just think a lot of the teams that just kind of focus on themselves, that's a dying breed now. You can't just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And just play, you just play towards your strengths and who cares that you're just going to be the better team. That's not really how the game works anymore. Right. This isn't like other tax shooters. There's just so many things that can be different. So many things that can be planned. Especially with Tejo now, that just has the easiest little tap. And this is where the stuns happen. So G2 can come up with these insane exets.
Yeah. I do have a quick question for you guys, because I'm not too sure if y'all saw the Platoon video. He did talk about how good T1 was with their double duelists. Do you think Paper X should run double duelists?
Oh yeah, I think so. That's their only hope with this team right now, unless you're just gonna be changing your whole identity. We're gonna play more conservative.
You think they should just throw it back to W Gaming? Is that what I'm hearing?
One last ride.
Let's ride into the sunset. Yeah.
I already think they're done. I don't have to. So just let's get like a reunion tour one last time.
Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, bring in Benkai as an assistant coach too. Let's ride, guys.
We can have his fun walkouts.
Right.
All right. The not so exciting match, which is Talon versus Team Secret. But I'm actually excited for Talon. I think the roster moves that they've made, they make a lot of sense. Like, you're bringing the team back to full tie. It is kind of like Frost, being in panic mode, emergency mode, because his contract's about to run out with Talon, and he's like, I need to save, my position somehow, and he's doing it. He unfortunately cut his boys and Ban and Gov, but I think this was the right move. I mean, you can only be in the same place for so long. Termi, I'm looking at you. Hold up. I didn't do this when they lost, but now I need to do it. That was my silly attempt on dancing on Termi's grave. Anywho.
No, that's funny.
All right. We
can edit that in post,
Yeah,
here lies Termi.
Here lies Termi's grave. Anywho, unlike DRX, I think Talon is making moves to finally move away from that 4th spot. And I think that if they don't make it, well, at least they tried. And if they works out, great. I do think that this team has potential to be top 3 in this region.
Yeah, facts. I feel like the only way I could see Talon being top 3 is if primmie actually plays Duelist. If he's not playing Duelist, I think they're just throwing. But yeah, I agree. I think, but then again, you guys have to remember it's Team Secret. You don't know what you're going to get from Team Secret, man. They always punch up their weight. I've seen it so often last year, and if you sleep on them, you're going to regret it. So I'm I want to lean towards Talon as well, just because primmie is looking like that star, but no, screw. I'm gonna go with Team Secret. I feel like you're gonna have some upsets here and there. I think Team Secret's gonna upset Talon.
I could totally see that. Because I think Talon, you should watch out for them heavy next year.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they're truly in a rebuild. I know Frost is panic mode, but I think the org is oh yeah, Frost is probably leaving next year, and we'll probably get a tie head coach or something we're just gonna be a tie team because there's enough talent. I think enough young talent and older talent that from the X10 and that era of tie players that I think having one tie fully tied team with all the tie all-stars can be a team that plays in a lot of internationals going forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is one day the team that runs away with it and wins a trophy. Right now, I could see Team Secret upsetting them in their first match together.
Ooh. I feel like getting rid of Frost doesn't make a lot of sense, though. I feel like he was able to turn this team around pretty well.
Too, but if they're gonna go for more of because Frost can go and play coach at an NA team.
I guess.
I think if Frost is done in Pacific, he'll probably take over someone like Cloud9. I think he'd be the perfect coach for them.
That's true. Yeah, he could be a great
work better if they because it just seems like that's where Talon's positioning itself.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're planning.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do Gen.G versus Boom Esports. I don't know. Someone tell me, because I have no clue.
I think we got too many Boom haters, especially in our comment section, because people were yeah. Boom's so high up. Boom's a solid team.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Just because they're Ascension doesn't mean anything. G2 is an Ascension team.
They lost their first 2, but they lost to T1 in Nongshim in map 3s.
Yeah.
T1 was a different T1. They were still figuring themselves out. It was the opening match. But you can't really discount this team who was also a millisecond away from winning Ascension the first time against Nongshim, who had never I just think people are underselling them. That being said, Gen.G is still Gen.G. Didn't they make a change again?
Yeah, they did. They benched Yoman and I forgot the other one.
Foxy 9.
Yeah, Foxy 9. They've benched Yoman and Foxy 9.
Wow. Those are the two new players that they brought in.
So yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
you're not
I
not
don't-
Meteor.
I don't know who they're bringing in,
I feel
but it's
so
happening.
bad.
There's a change happening.
What's
And
happening?
Foxy 9, like his career in the Pacific has
ripped.
been like he's the journeyman. Like
Honestly,
that's a rough. Yeah,
I could definitely see him in China next year with RB.
with RB
Oh,
on
God,
Titan
poor
or whatever.
RB, poor
We're all
RB.
gamers.
Yeah.
RB got the worst of the fucking Termi cuts.
No,
that
RB was
guy-
good.
RB was so good, and then they sent him to China. Man's never been the same. Actually tragic. Bring RB. Hey, if Gen.G wants
Bro,
to
you
make
bring
a
him
good
home.
move, bring RB home,
Maybe
please.
home. Oh yeah, Gen.G. If anything,
That would
you can
actually
do
be
it.
a good move.
Yeah.
Or MIBR instead of Verno. They can't speak.
They both can't speak English.
That's
What
why I'm
the
like, who
hell?
cares?
Why
Who cares at
not?
that
Or-
point?
or-
Why
Just some guy
not?
that's
Anyway.
talented. Got RB in there just speaking Korean.
That would be insane.
Mhm.
All right. Anywho, with the roster changes, I could see Boom
Yeah.
winning this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go here with Andy's choice. I'm going with Boom.
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 I mean, I wanted to go with Boom, but I don't want to curse a team. You know, I got to think about them. I'm gonna go with Gen.G to avoid any type of curse shenanigans.
Okay.
But because at the end of the day, they still got Karon, which
Still-
Loki, I think Karon might be the best player on this team right now.
Yeah. Him and Texture for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I feel like Karon's a little bit more consistent, but yeah,
Yeah.
Texture's still pretty solid too.
Let me scour the interwebs to see if
We know who they were getting replaced.
yeah. Let me see
His-
Gen.G.
because in like theory, Gen.G should win because
Right.
they have that core and a good leader in Munchkin. Like it's just like the issue is, can they make the teams are still too close that bringing in two new players, I just think will screw them up so much that like maybe like later in the season, like Gen.G would win, but
Mhm.
Yeah, they haven't announced anyone, but
man,
it's getting close. I don't know why they haven't.
yeah. I assume
One
they've been
week.
scrimming with them for a while now, but
Maybe, yeah, probably. Anywho, so 2 Boom, 1 Gen.G. Good way to avoid the curse. That gets 3 booms.
Booms. Hell yeah.
We need to drop this bit. Anywho, now we got Nongshim Redforce versus RRQ. You know what? I'm gonna stick to my guns. Fuck the RRQ fans. Yeah, I'm so sick of hearing that they're going to be good and that they're going to do well. Oh, you're underrating RRQ. I don't give two flying fucks. I got Nongshim Redforce winning in a 2-0 sweep.
This is just a this is like just the Chobra Bowl.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say I feel bad for Chobra because he's definitely gonna be rooting for RRQ in his heart, but his brain's gonna be like, "Don't mess up this bag for me, man."
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I also have the noodle
Chopra Bowl
team.
is crazy.
because it's the only person that cares about RRQ.
That's tough too.
I like both these teams. I like Monyet. But I probably am still gonna go with Nongshim because like I don't know. I love their story.
I agree.
This-
Kai.
Yeah, like they're a good team. They're a good
It'd
team.
be funny if RRQ wins and then Shora like does his best Marv impersonation. He'd be like, "Oh no, why did Nongshim win?" And you just see him smiling a little bit. You should totally do that or something. I don't know. No, actually, not. Like let him keep the bag. That's bad business moves.
Yeah, I got Nongshim here. I'm actually just hoping that they win too. I've been eating a lot of Nongshim noodles too.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite?
I think the black one was probably the best.
Yeah, I saw that. I still can't believe they have a whole flavor called black.
Yeah, it's the spiciest, I think.
Really? Okay.
Actually, the gold one is the better tasting one. But if you like
Yeah, I like the
spiciness,
gold one.
black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, I mean, does anyone have anything else to say about these teams?
I'm really curious how Paper Rex is gonna do. Like that, I think
Yeah, that's the biggest question mark. They
I'm
could be
gonna
like the
be.
best team in this region, or they can look like the worst.
Oh, and it's at 3 a.m. for me.
They
Yeah,
won't
I'm
be the
not
worst,
watching
but
that.
they'll definitely drop down the middle of the pack.
Well,
Yeah,
because
that's
people were
true.
getting annoyed with us putting them in A tier still, but like really, this is the moment. Are they still an A tier, S tier team, or are they kind of a B C team?
All right, and that is our preview and prediction for VCT Pacific Stage 1. That is also the end of content for the week. Join us next week when we cover week 2, we recap week 1, and see if we were completely on the nose or completely wrong. For Esports Andy and that Nerd Kaizen, I'm Zeph. We'll see you next week.